Eyewitness News starts right now.
President Donald Trump announcing brand new travel restrictions tonight, adding several countries to those originally proposed by the administration. North Korea, Chad, and Venezuela will be added to Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen as countries with restricted travel into the United States. This announcement replaces a central portion of the administration's controversial travel ban signed earlier this year. In most cases, travel will be broadly suspended, and those allowed into the country will face increased scrutiny. Next tonight, a man accused of shooting at police during a pursuit early this morning is in custody. The chase began in Nitro, then ended on Charleston's East End. Eyewitness News reporter Kaylee Gunderson is here to explain what happened leading up to his arrest. Thank you, Kaylee. State police need your help finding a 16-year-old Clay County girl last seen on September 16th. Deputies say that Jalen Thacker was last seen in a 2007 red Toyota Yaris being driven by another woman and may be in the Jacksonville, North Carolina area tonight. Thacker is 5'2", 110 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. If you know where she may be, call police. And good news for Capitol High School students. School will be in session tomorrow morning. Kanawha County schools say that the air samples taken Thursday and Friday came back within acceptable levels after a week of mold cleanup in the school. 60 out of the 180 rooms in the school tested positive for elevated mold levels on Tuesday. School officials said that the auditorium, library, LGI, and 2 classrooms will remain closed for more cleaning and testing. A Huntington police officer was sent to the hospital and a woman sent to jail after police say that she tried to run away from them Friday with a 2-year-old in the car. Police say that they smelled marijuana coming from Lalisa Moore's car, and while an officer tried to pull her out of the driver's seat, she threw the car in drive and began dragging the officer along Monroe Avenue. Court documents say that Moore backed into a police car, damaging the cruiser and injuring the officer being dragged. Another police officer then jumped into the passenger seat and shut the car off. Police say that Moore's 2-year-old niece was improperly restrained in the back seat during the whole incident. Moore has been charged with malicious assault, child neglect creating risk of injury, and fleeing, and is being held at the Western Regional Jail. Heroin and cash were seized during a traffic stop in Flatwoods, Kentucky yesterday. Shane Lohr was arrested and charged with first-degree trafficking of a controlled substance. Flatwoods police say that a drug dog sniffed drugs inside of Lohr's car, and when officers searched, they found heroin in a backpack. Lohr is being held at the Greenup County Jail. Now, the Walton community is now searching for funds to get an ambulance stationed in their area of Roane County. Right now, there are only 3 ambulances in the county, one at Roane General, one in Spencer, and one in Newton, but nothing stationed near Walton. That's why firefighters and community members gathered at the Walton Volunteer Fire Department this weekend in hopes of finding a solution. With only 3 ambulances in the entire county, Assistant Fire Chief Chris Collins says people typically have to wait around half an hour for help to arrive, and for many residents, that's too long. Elected representatives joined in on the discussion and presented a few options to fund the additional ambulance. A 5-person Walton Area Ambulance Committee was formed, including the Assistant Fire Chief, and they will continue to explore the funding options and eventually approach the EMS board with their ideas. And now to an update on a missing persons case out of Sissonville. Kanawha County deputies say that Abigail Roop and her 1-month-old child did return home safely yesterday. Roop had been missing since Friday. 81 heroes returned home to the Tri-State Airport last night as part of the Honor Flight program. Mostly Vietnam and Korean War veterans, the 80 vets traveled to Washington, D.C. to tour the war memorials as part of the Honor Flight. Each veteran was greeted with love and thanks from family members, friends, and even strangers when they touched down at the Tri-State Airport. The Honor Flight is a nonprofit that focuses on thanking veterans for everything they've done for our country. If you know a deserving veteran, you can visit the Honor Flight website to apply. It was a very special birthday and an even more special little girl for a more special little girl in Huntington today. Maggie was diagnosed with cancer as a little girl and given a 40% chance of survival. Though her fight, she helped raise enough money to build a playground for the Ronald McDonald House and her best friend Jacob. Today she celebrated her 7th birthday at the Ronald McDonald House and also celebrated being cancer-free. Batman, Ariel, Batwoman, and Wonder Woman also got in on the fun, and while today's birthday party was for Maggie, The Ronald McDonald House will celebrate their 30th anniversary in just a few days. Just ahead, 1 dead and 7 others injured following a Nashville church shooting. How 2 unlikely heroes stepped up. You're watching Eyewitness News, West Virginia's source for news. The NFL spends the day responding to President Trump's fiery rhetoric. Trump spends much of the day firing back. Who's coming out on top? Next on Eyewitness News. West Virginia House of Representatives died this afternoon. House Speaker Tim Armstead released a statement this morning saying that Delegate Tony Lewis died following a battle with lymphoma. Lewis served for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard and fought during Operation Desert Storm and Operation Enduring Freedom. Armstead says Lewis continued speaking for the people of Preston County in session while battling cancer. He was 59 years old. A masked gunman unleashed a shooting spree at a suburban Nashville church this afternoon. 1 woman died, 6 others were injured. The shooter was also shot and will be charged with murder as soon as he is released from the hospital. ABC's Chuck Sivertson has more. Another hero emerged from this shooting, this one much younger. 10-year-old Jeremiah helped his teacher hide younger children in a nearby classroom. He barricaded the door to keep the gunman from entering. Next tonight, President Donald Trump is dealing with a big week ahead in Washington. The battle over health care reform may be on life support this coming week. The Graham-Cassidy bill set to replace Obamacare is already being bucked by Republican senators who could block any vote brought to the floor. The legislation is just one more Republican no vote away from defeat. Already, John McCain from Arizona and Kentucky's Rand Paul are against the bill. Republican Senator and bill co-sponsor Lindsey Graham still trying to gather support. There's Senator Ted Cruz also saying his vote has not been secured by Republican leadership. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he intends to bring the bill to the floor sometime this week. And while Congress tackles health care, President Donald Trump will be dealing with rapidly escalating tensions with North Korea. The U.S. sent B-1 bombers and F-15 fighter jets flying along the coast of North Korea Saturday, farther north than any American planes have gone in decades. General James Cartwright says despite the fiery verbal exchanges, actual confrontation is unlikely. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has threatened to detonate a hydrogen bomb over the Pacific Ocean as his own show of strength. The president versus the players, round 2. The NFL came out putting on a strong show in response to President Trump's controversial comments about national anthem protest. ABC Mary Bruce has a closer look at what happened in football stadiums across the country. President Trump wasted no time in responding to the NFL in a day-long Twitter tirade. President Trump responded to the protest, saying fans should refuse to go to NFL games until the kneeling stops. He also called games boring. Trump's barrage of NFL tweets continued as he said great solidarity for our national anthem and for our country. Standing with locked arms is good. Kneeling is not acceptable. Bad ratings. And later, courageous patriots have fought and died for our great American flag. We must honor and respect it. Make America great again. People here in Charleston had mixed reactions on both the NFL's stand today and the president's day-long Twitter response. Don't sleep on State. Why one legendary football coach thinks the Jackets are a program on the rise. That's next on Eyewitness Sports.